In an age of artificial intelligence, cyber diplomacy, and real-time global communication, the world of diplomacy is evolving at an unprecedented pace. How are states adapting? What roles does technology play in shaping alliances, managing conflict, and protecting sovereignty? This is Diplomatic Insight with Oyebola.
Hello and welcome to Diplomatic Insight. I'm Oyebola, and today we're exploring a powerful intersection that is redefining global diplomacy. The tools of statecraft are changing, and so are the rules.
For centuries, diplomacy was the domain of trained envoys, carefully worded letters, and state secrets delivered by hand. But today, social media platforms, artificial intelligence, and cybersecurity threats are central to the diplomatic arena. From the Estonia's e-residency and digital statecraft to the rise of virtual summits during COVID-19, to the Ukrainian government's use of Twitter in wartime diplomacy, the use of technology in diplomacy is trending. Estonia's e-residency, a government-issued digital identity for non-residents, enabling access to state e-services and the ability to establish and manage a business remotely, was launched in 2014. Hence, Estonia became the first country to offer e-residency. This has brought both economic impact and soft power to Estonia, promoting its culture, business environment, innovation, tourism, and international recognition. In the same vein, the rise of virtual summits during COVID-19 charter a new course for diplomatic engagements, apparent with the moving of summits, negotiations, and statecraft online, making use of platforms like Zoom, WebEx, and Microsoft Teams. When COVID-19 struck in early 2020, borders closed and international travel became risky, if not impossible. For diplomats and heads of states, this meant either postponing diplomacy or finding new channels. The answer was swift: virtual summits. From the G20 to regional bodies, from bilateral meetings to multilateral forums, diplomacy pivoted on screens. As the world reopens, diplomacy has not returned to its old way entirely. The screen is now a permanent seat at the table, bringing about an hybrid. Although this form of diplomacy has a lot of benefits, it also has its challenges. Virtual summits bring about increased frequency of diplomatic engagements at lower cost and less carbon footprint, with greater inclusivity for smaller nations. But it also poses challenges of technical issues, time zones, and Zoom fatigue, as well as loss of informal conversations and soft diplomacy. Also, there are concerns over cybersecurity and confidentiality. Virtual summits is not the only form of digital diplomacy. Twitter diplomacy is a form of digital diplomacy as well. Twitter diplomacy, or Twiplomacy, is the practice of conducting public diplomacy using the social media platform Twitter by heads of states and diplomats, as well as leaders of intergovernmental organizations, for a wide range of diplomatic communication, including official announcements, policy decisions, public statements on current events or international crises, and exchanges of messages between political leaders. Since the 2022 Russia invasion of Ukraine, Ukraine has been deploying the use of Twitter for wartime diplomacy, with its governments using the platform in strategic ways to shape public opinion, build alliances, and counter disinformation. Official Twitter accounts, including @Ukraine, @DefenseU, @Kyiv, became important tools for communicating with domestic and global audiences. Ukraine is using Twitter digital platform as key strategy in building narratives of resilience and identity with themes of strength, endurance, and national unity. Other key strategies include digital public diplomacy and appeals for support, countering disinformation, and influencing international narratives, using mimetic warfare by both independent accounts, such as @UAMEMS forces, and also for the first time in a full-scale war by official Ukrainian governments, accounts such as @Ukraine and @DefenseU. The Ukrainian government's use of Twitter has shown that modern diplomacy is not just about embassies and negotiating tables. It is also about hashtags, images, and viral posts. The reach on social media means that every tweet is a pitch, not just to foreign governments, but to ordinary citizens around the world. There are risks. Misinformation campaigns can distort the message. Overuse or failure to follow up can cause fatigue or skepticism. But in Ukraine's case, many observers say this digital strategy has succeeded in galvanizing international support, moral, diplomatic, and material.
From digital diplomacy to data wars, the game has changed. Today, tweets can spark diplomatic tensions or solidarity. States are not only managing traditional threats, but also digital ones, from misinformation campaigns to cyber attacks on critical infrastructure. The digital age demands digital diplomats. The future of peace, power, and persuasion is being coded now. Nigeria is taking bold steps to secure its place in the fast-evolving global digital landscape. At the Ministry of Foreign Affairs headquarters in Abuja, diplomats, tech experts, government officials gathered to confront one of the biggest challenges of our time, the transformation of diplomacy in the digital age. The Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, delivered a powerful keynote address at the opening of a high-level seminar on anticipatory, cyber, and digital diplomacy. The two-day event is set to shape how Nigeria and other nations approach diplomacy in an era dominated by technology, artificial intelligence, and cyber threats. Ambassador Tuggar declared that Nigeria must not be a mere bystander, but must act with purpose to be positioned as a principled, capable, and forward-looking actor in the evolving global digital order. The minister painted a picture of a world undergoing seismic digital and geopolitical transformation, one where artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and cybercrime are rewriting the very nature of diplomacy. Tuggar emphasized that Nigeria can no longer afford to react passively to technological disruption, but must take proactive steps to shape the global digital landscape.
Anticipatory diplomacy provides us with the ability to detect early warning signals, foresee systemic shocks, and plan strategically for the future, whether in the global race for critical minerals, the regulation of artificial intelligence, or the restructuring of global supply chains. In the spirit of this forward-looking vision, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has established a dedicated cyber diplomacy unit. The unit's mandate is clear: to coordinate Nigeria's cyber-related foreign policy across all diplomatic platforms, build capacity for cyber negotiations, champion ethical and inclusive digital governance, foster public-private partnerships for national cyber resilience, and ensure that Nigeria's voice is influential in global cyberspace governance.
Nigeria's digital future.
Anticipatory diplomacy is at its core. It's not about predicting the future. When we hear the word anticipatory, it is about preparing wisely for the range of futures that may come. This will allow us prepare for the disruptions of tomorrow, whether that is the misuse of artificial intelligence, disinformation, cyber attacks against our energy and financial systems, or the campaigns that may want to undermine our social cohesion or electoral integrity. Cyber diplomacy ensures that our voices are heard in the international negotiations that establish how states should behave in cyberspace. It is for Nigeria to take its rightful place in shaping international norms on cyber governance at the United Nations, the African Union, and the ECOWAS.
The Federal Ministry of Justice has a critical role to play in this new diplomatic paradigm. The work is to ensure legal frameworks are updated to address these emerging challenges. The ministry is committed to collaborating with security agencies, foreign affairs officials, the private sector, and civil society to build a comprehensive and effective strategy. It is my firm belief that the seminar will provide a platform for discussions and innovative recommendations. The insights shared will be instrumental in shaping the nation's response to the interplay of technology and diplomacy.
He introduced anticipatory diplomacy as a core component to this strategy, a method focused on identifying future threats and opportunities before they materialize. From global AI regulation to critical minerals and supply chains, Tuggar stressed the need for Nigerian diplomats to evolve into strategic foresight specialists. The minister's remarks turned sharply to real-world consequences Nigeria has already faced due to technological gaps. He cited the misuse of cryptocurrency by criminal networks in early 2024 and the damaging impact of misinformation on public trust and democratic institutions. He warned about the viral and fake memes of leaders romancing rock stars, viral and fake reports of coups or deaths. He concluded that people no longer know what to believe, which is a short step away from believing nothing. To respond, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has created the Cyber Diplomacy Unit, linked with coordinating Nigeria's cyber-related foreign policies, building negotiation capacity, and fostering public-private partnerships to strengthen cyber resilience. In a significant announcement, TUGA launched the Anticipatory Cyber and Digital Diplomacy Masterclass Series, a free online learning platform hosted on YouTube, targeted at diplomats across Africa and Global South. The initiative reflects Nigeria's commitment to inclusive and collaborative capacity building in digital diplomacy. The initiative is said is Nigeria's digital gift to the world. It will help train a new generation of cyber negotiators and promote African-led solutions in global digital governance. Ambassador TUGA called on all sectors, from private tech firms and financial institutions to Nigeria's global diaspora, to play a role in shaping the country's cyber and digital diplomacy strategy. He stressed the importance of integrating women and youth into decision-making processes, framing inclusion as both a moral and strategic imperative. The two-day seminar is expected to yield actionable recommendations as Nigeria prepares to play a more assertive role in global and regional digital governance. With the African Union, ECOWAS, and the United Nations all pivoting toward digital transformation, Nigeria's timely investment in cyber diplomacy signals its readiness to lead. The minister concluded his address with a proverb that captured the urgency of the moment. He said, and I quote, "Tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. The digital tomorrow is already upon us. Let us prepare for it together with courage, clarity, and unity of purpose." In a world where digital frontiers are expanding rapidly, diplomacy is entering a new dimension, literally metaverse diplomacy. Metaverse is an intricate web of interconnected virtual spaces, platforms, and communities facilitated by cutting-edge technologies such as virtual reality, VR, and augmented reality, AR. It is a network of three-dimensional virtual worlds where avatars engage in political, economic, social, and cultural activities. In other words, the metaverse can be seen as an extension of the physical reality, in which any number of users can experience the virtual world simultaneously, with each of them having their own sense of reality, that is, their own virtual life. Metaverse enables individuals to perform several tasks together over the virtual world, while still possessing the capability to touch, smell, feel, experience the realities of the physical world. The term metaverse was coined in 1992 by science fiction writer Neil Stephenson to describe a three-dimensional virtual space combining the prefix meta, meaning beyond, and verse, which is short for universe. Once the realm of gamers and tech enthusiasts, the metaverse is now being shaped into a serious platform for international dialogue as virtual reality becomes more integrated into daily life. Governments and organizations are stepping into the digital world for diplomatic discussions, negotiations, high-level summits, diplomatic engagements, and peace building. This new approach, dubbed metaverse diplomacy, allows state representatives to meet in immersive environments, transcending borders, travel limitations, and even some traditional security concerns. In 2008, the United Nations conducted a virtual peace talks in Second Life, metaverse platform to engage Cypriot communities separated by a UN buffer zone. This initiative aimed to build trust and encourage dialogue between the two sides. Also in 2021, South and North Korea officials met in a virtual reality space to discuss cooperation projects. This symbolic meeting in the metaverse represented a step toward dialogue and reconciliation between the two nations. Maldives in 2007 was the first nation state to initiate the practice of diplomacy and international relations over metaverse. Maldives created virtual embassy inside the platform of Second Life. Other countries such as Malta, Philippines, Estonia, Serbia, and South Korea have set up virtual diplomatic and consular posts over metaverse for providing administrative and consular services. In 2021, Barbados became the first country to announce a fully functional embassy in the metaverse. But metaverse diplomacy isn't without challenges. Cybersecurity, identity verification, and protocol adaptation are major hurdles. As AI and avatars take center stage, experts warn about misinformation, deepfakes, and unequal access. As we've seen, the metaverse presents both a mirror and a challenge to traditional diplomacy. It's a space of opportunity, but also of caution. Can we build trust in a virtual world? And should we? Time will tell. Thank you for joining us on Diplomatic Insight. I'm Oyebola. Stay informed, stay connected, and above all, stay diplomatic.